welcome back to Clikk Chat, where we'll be spotlighting the people shaping the future of classical music and music education. Today we are thrilled to speak with Ángel Miguel Hernández, cellist, educator, and founder of the Festival Internacional de Música de Guadalajara, or FIMG for short. From a bold idea to a beloved and transformative music gathering in Guadalajara, Mexico, FIMG has become a space where young musicians connect, grow, and inspire one another. In this episode, we explore Angel's vision, the origins of FIMG, and the power of international collaboration in music education. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the very end. Well, hello, Angel. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I'm really excited about this conversation, and it's an honor to have you with us, not only just because of the amazing work you've done with FIMG, but also because Project Clikk is proud to support your mission through our new scholarship initiative. I'd love to just dive right in. Well, I'd just love for you to take us back to the beginning. How did you first get the idea for FIMG, and what sort of inspired you to bring it to life?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you, Chaos, for this, for the invitation and for the initiative about the scholarship. It's a pleasure to be here with talking with you. About your question, well, the idea was, I think, because the necessity to have a program like this in Guadalajara, not only in Guadalajara but in Mexico, because you know that I grew up in Venezuela, in El Sistema.
Mm-hmm.
So there we had many festivals and many programs during the whole year. So when I arrived in Mexico in 2015, I realized that there were not programs for young artists and for young students. And for me, it was too difficult at that time because to receive this kind of opportunities, I had to go abroad. I remember I went to Canada, to Ecuador, trying to find some festivals not too expensive. Of course, in Canada was super expensive, but trying to find these kind of opportunities. And after that situation, I said, okay, I have to create something in this city. To create this opportunity to all these students that don't have the opportunity to receive master classes and coaching with great artists, because in Mexico we don't have this kind of projects, you know.
Yeah.
So the idea came because the necessity to have a platform like this.
I see. And unfortunately, I'm not too familiar with the musical situation in Latin America. But am I correct in assuming that Mexico doesn't have as much of a prevalence of classical music compared to other areas in Latin America, or is it pretty similar throughout Latin America?
I think it's pretty similar in all Latin America.
Okay.
Maybe, of course, in Venezuela they have a lot of programs because of this big foundation that is very well known in around the world. But in Mexico, in particular, we have many universities, but only in Mexico City we have big universities.
Right.
In the minor cities, we have universities that unfortunately are not working very good, and normally they don't have invited professors. So to receive this kind of activities is very difficult, because normally in Mexico it's very common to find support for folk music like mariachis and bandas,
Yeah.
but for classical music it's very difficult.
I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, FIMG definitely really plays a really vital role in especially the Guadalajara classical music scene. And I was wondering more specifically, like what sort of core gaps or needs is the festival trying to fill for the musicians? Is it just like education, or is it opportunities to play with similarly leveled chamber ensembles, or something else entirely?
Yeah, I think At the beginning, I was almost thinking. I was thinking only in education, like to receive masterclasses with great artists and great professors. But after the first edition, I realized that the festival is also a platform to create opportunities between students and professors. For example, after the first edition, one of the cellists received a scholarship to study in a university in Mexico City with one of the professors who came in that edition. So that is one of the ideas about why I am inviting professors from important universities from Europe and also from USA to try to create the connections between students and professors, and of course to play chamber music in high levels, but I think it's also to create these kind of opportunities.
Right, right. Having that sort of rapport between peer and mentors is really important. Definitely can go a long way just past a single festival for sure. And well, I was actually wondering, did you have any sort of support system with a teacher when you were young, when you were a young cellist growing up?
I received many master classes with many professors in Venezuela because actually my professors, he was students in Paris,
Uh-huh.
in Conservatoire Superior in Paris, and of course he knew a lot of good cellists, so he invited to Venezuela cellists like Yo-Yo Ma, Natalia Goodman, many cellists. So when I was a child, I received this opportunity to every summer I attend cello festivals in Venezuela, receiving classes with great artists. And because of this foundation, uh, all of that was for free for me. So that's also the reason why I'm trying to create this opportunity, but with a price for the students which is like super cheap,
Yeah, yeah.
compared with festivals in USA or abroad.
Right. While still maintaining that really high level of education and mentorship. So yeah, that's definitely a distinguisher compared to a lot of other ones I've been to and I know about. So that's really a big plus. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when it came to building this organization, this festival in Latin America, especially when it comes with their communities and, like you said, there's not as much support for classical music when you compare with folk music.
Well, I think the the big challenge is to to keep the festival every year without supporting without support from government or from other institutions, because of course there are some programs here in Guadalajara in which the culture institute uh, is supporting some festivals, but the problem is that this festival is happening in April, and all of these programs give the money to present the project like in the summer or after April. So for me, it's always impossible to receive this kind of support from government or from Culture Institute. So for me, the big challenge is to keep every year the program, because I'm trying to sustain the high level of the professors,
Right.
but without support, it's super difficult for me to invite these artists because of course I have to pay for them, and I understand that they cannot come for free. It's like I of course they have to receive their fees, but for me it's super difficult because of course I don't want to ask for this to the students to pay a big amount of money, because in Latin America it's difficult for them to pay a fee very high. So I think the big challenge is to create this festival without support from other institutions.
When you had the time constraints because of the federal funding because you're hosting the festival in April, not in the summer, you weren't able to receive the money. Did this challenge sort of result in FIMG sort of veering away or changing direction from your initial idea of what the festival would look like?
Well, when I received this answer from the Culture Institute about the date, the first thing that I thought was I can't change the main idea of the festival, or I can't change the days of the festival, because in summer you have a lot of festivals around the world, and in summer it will be more difficult to have these professors coming to Mexico. So when I received this answer, I thought, okay, for me it's impossible to receive this, so I have to find another way. And in the last 2 years, I have been trying to find support for not institutions, not really institutions, but some friends who are supporting the festivals with a small amounts, like donors. But of course, it's not enough to this kind of festival. But I think is the best what I can do, at least for now, at least until I can find another strategy. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I'm just wondering a little bit about have there been any changes in the classical music landscape in Latin America in recent years? And if there have been, has FIMG sort of adapted to it or responded to it in any way?
I would say that in the recent years, I think the young students had these platforms, these social media,
Yeah.
and I think some of them are thinking that they can receive. Of course, social media can help you to have access to a lot of information,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you need to live the experience. And I don't know. I think in Latin America, some people are now trying to wake up about to going to festivals, to trying to apply to competitions, to find opportunities abroad. I have many friends that now I'm applying to study in Europe or in USA. I have many friends studying in Germany, or
Yeah.
So I think in recent years, and I can see that in the festivals, the young students they are like hungry for information.
Right.
And now I can see in the festival, because in the beginning, normally I received like, I don't know, 100 applications for the first 2 years, and in the last edition I received more than 300 applications.
Mm-hmm.
So I think young students are like trying to have access to this, and they are trying to wake up, and not only to be at home waiting for the opportunities.
Right. So the exposure they get, both the students themselves and the festivals, is good for both parties, right? It's like a mutual win-win.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And actually more about the students, because FIMG is a selective festival. I was wondering, are there any sort of criteria you guys look for when it comes to judging recordings? Is there any emphasis you guys place when it comes to technique versus musicality or anything like that?
Well, it's difficult, because sometimes it depends. I think it depends of the student. When you watch the videos of the applications, you can see in every videos different aptitudes in each students. So I think sometimes we analyze, okay, these students have a very good technique, but it's like not musicality. And sometimes these students is super musical, natural musical, but I don't know, he or she needs more technique.
Right.
And sometimes we prefer people who need more technique, because I think that is one of the purposes of the festivals.
Right.
And sometimes we also read the information that the students share with us, and we read about if they have opportunities in their towns, if they had been part of other festivals or not. And sometimes we watch some students playing super good in their videos, and they said, okay, I have never been part of another festival because I had not the possibilities, or I had not the chance in my city or something. And we would think sometimes, okay, this is one of the goals of the festival to create this opportunity for this kind of students.
Right. Yeah. So definitely having that option for especially those who haven't had a chance before is right. Definitely a big
Yeah,
part as well.
exactly.
Yeah. And are there any specific moments or stories from past editions that stand out, where you sort of felt like this is exactly why we had this festival, or this sort of experience was really eye opening for the student?
Wow.
I mean, I know there's been a lot of participants, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I have many stories in the festival. It's like
Yeah.
it's now 5 years.
Uh,
I have many stories, but maybe one of the things I could share it is when these students from Guadalajara received the scholarship to go to the university for free with a good professor in Mexico City.
right.
And I remember I thought, okay, this is one of the things that I want in these festivals. I would like to more students receive this kind of opportunities. And of course, in other editions, recent editions, other students have been receiving classes for free online with professors who have been in the festival, and they offer to listen the students after the festivals online. So I think it's a good opportunity for some of them.
I see. And actually, beyond pure musical training, and maybe even just beyond the actual duration of the festival, so after the festival ends as well, um, are there instances, or does FIMG support its prior alumni in ways that go beyond just pure musical trainings? If it's like extended support or mentorship or a community or just financial support or anything like that?
Well, maybe not financial support, of
Yeah.
course, because we can't.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. I think after the festival, one of the things that I can say that is happening, at least in Guadalajara, is that people are playing more chamber music in the city, and I think this is because of the festival. Because before the festival, nobody played chamber music in Guadalajara. Of course, like one quartet or
There's
some
some here and
friends,
there.
but now in the city we have quartet. We have some friends who are playing chamber music during the year, and I think this is also a result uh, of the festival, because the festival is only 10 days, so
Yeah.
I think it's important to see the results not only during the 10 days, but after. And also, I think one of the from the last year, one of the luthiers who is donating a bow. This is one of the supports that the festival is giving now. The last year, one of the luthiers decided to donate a bow create specifically for students.
Wow.
So in this last edition, we give the bow to this violist from Chiapas. He won the scholarship last year. Every year we offer 3 scholarships: one for violin, one for viola, and one for cello. But because the luthier is only giving one bow, so we make like a raffle, and in the last concert, one person of the public select the winner. So last year the winner was this violist from Chiapas, and in this edition, this last edition, he received the bow from the luthier, and it was a bow created specifically for him. He decides the weight of the bow and everything about that. And in this year, we are offering the same. The winner was a cellist from Monterrey, and he will receive the bow next year. And it's a bow. I think the cost of the bow is like $1,500. So I think for a young students, it's a big support.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, stories like these for sure that definitely just sort of make you realize how powerful these actions can be, especially when it comes to classical music being so, heavy on money, resources.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I know we've sort of gone over this a little bit already, but I mean, outside of what we've already mentioned, if there's anything else, both Project Clikk and FIMG, sort of believe in making classical music more accessible, more inclusive for everyone. Not just people that already have the opportunities. So from your perspective, what else do you think that organizations like ours can play in transforming the music world?
For the festival, it would be fantastic to have not only 10 days of festival, but at least 3 times per year.
Right.
I think it would be fantastic for the students. But one thing that I think I would like to try to incorporate to the festival is not only about the 10 days, but trying to give support during the year, like chamber music programs, to create more concert or more spaces for concert. But sometimes here it's difficult even to find a space for to play a concert. So I think we can try to create more spaces for concerts, more spaces for coaching, chamber music, or individual classes, lessons. I don't know. I think we can do a lot, but
Right, yeah, definitely. I mean, having that continued support is really important, especially for young musicians who are developing. On the other end, when it comes to leaders, young leaders of music organizations or nonprofits having similar missions as ours, what do you have any messages or maybe any lessons you would give to them to help them in their journey?
a message I would say it, please don't stop to help young musicians. It's super important to keep this kind of organizations, because we have a lot of students who really need this support. I think we can, as I already said, I think we can do more. But I would say we can't stop. We need to keep working. We need to keep supporting and creating opportunities for people who really need the support, and especially in classical music.
Right, definitely. And just branching away a little bit, just for one question, I know you've mentioned chamber music a couple of times already, and I'm actually interested in talking a little bit more about that. So, what sort of benefits do you think chamber music has like beyond just playing together with others of a similar level?
Beyond the music, I think specifically when you are in a festival and you are playing chamber music with other students, I think it's not. Of course, the goal is to play chamber music with people who are in the same level than you, because you can receive more information for everyone. But I think beyond the music, you can create friendship with people from other cities. At least in a festival like this, who is an international festival with people from, in this edition, from 10 different countries. So I think you can create a community. You can create friendship. You can learn from other students, not only from the professor. Uh, and I think that is one of the most important things, because sometimes in music you need the experience, not only for playing the instrument, but the experience, the real experience, the real life experience. So and you got this experience living with other people, listening different stories. So I think for me, chamber music is super important.
Right. Do you think when it comes to a festival, an international festival, do you think chamber music is one of the more important aspects of the festival beyond just master classes, concerts?
I think so. I
Right.
think so. One of the things that when I decided to incorporate the chamber music in the festival, it was from the first edition actually, but my idea was like, okay, you can improve technically or musically in the lessons with the professor, but where you will apply this information, not only like playing you alone, but I think it's more important when you can apply it in a group with other students.
Right.
And for me, super important. Uh, for me, it's super important to share the information that you receive. So if you receive a very good information from a good professor in a lesson during the morning, and you have a rehearsal with a chamber music group in the afternoon, I think you is the moment to share this information. So for me, chamber music is very special.
Right. Yeah. You definitely get to have those bonds, which are really important as a musician, especially as a solo musician, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just to close off here, I just want to sort of look ahead a little bit, and I was wondering, what are your hopes for the future of FIMG? Of course, I know you'd like to have more editions yearly and a bigger outreach, but also, what are your hopes when it comes to classical music in Latin America more broadly?
Um. Well, actually, in the future, I would like to add a competition in the festival. That is one of my dreams. Not only to create the competency between the students is to create the opportunity for them to show the result of their work, to uh, and I don't know, maybe to create the opportunity for them to play with orchestras here. That is one of my dreams, of course. But of course, I hope to be able to create a lot of more editions in the festivals, and to have many good professors for these students. And one of the things that I love is when some students who already came in the past. I really love when I can see the evolution of them.
Progress, right? Yeah,
The progress. So that for me, that's very special.
definitely. Yeah, just seeing their improvement over time is really a treat, especially as a mentor. Thank you so much, Angel. This has really been such an interesting and meaningful conversation. And I know that our community at Project Clikk and beyond, and especially your community as well, will really be deeply inspired by your story and the festival. And we're so proud to be supporting FIMG's work, and we look forward to seeing what we can build together. So again, thank you so much for your time. It was really valuable, really insightful, and I really hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks a lot for support the festival. It's really meaningful for the festival. Thank you.
And that's the end of our conversation with the maestro Ángel Miguel Hernández. His vision for FIMG goes beyond concerts and masterclasses. It's about belonging. It's about breaking down borders with music and nurturing the next generation of global artists. Ángel, thank you so much for sharing your journey and mission with us. If you've ever wondered how one person can build a movement, this right here is your answer. Stay tuned for more stories like this right here on Clikk Chat.